Ah, yeah, fucking camera. You know, my camera seems to migrate to different places, behind the monitor, in front of the monitor, wherever. And that was behind the monitor. Sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. How the hell are you? Well, it's the first day of August. Let's look at it this way. I didn't get nearly as much done as I want to get done to prepare for next winter. I got a month, 2 months, August, September to get it done. I petered out after a month and a half. I started strong this spring. I got really two big piles of cottonwood, maple, and ash cut up. And I started on oak. I have an oak pile out there yet, but I have to put this other wood pile in the shed before I start cutting and splitting any more stuff. Anyway, I got to get that done. I got to start cutting and splitting some more. I got to get my stove. My stove actually needs to have a little bit of work. I need to get my gas back up, and I got to make sure that's working. And I got to add a couple more gallons of rust preservative in the water, or preservative, not rust preservative, but prevention in the water. And that's what we got to do, man. Let me change this over here to live chat. Okay, let's see who comes in. We only got really one package to open. I just went out and got the mail. I went over to my brother's because he's gone this weekend. I do his chicken chores, pick up eggs, get his mail. Hi, good morning, AZ. Good morning. Well, yeah, it is still morning here. And then I didn't have enough time to run to town. So I came back here, offloaded everything, his mail, my mail, eggs. And I have to wait to go into town because the county clerk, the one that works at the courthouse, that gets paid with our taxpayer money, gets an hour and a half for fucking lunch. And I don't know why it takes an hour and a half for lunch, because those two clerks are right in the courthouse. And I don't know if they have their own restaurant there or not. I don't think they do. But uptown is only 3 blocks away. Why does it take fucking hour and a half to have lunch? I don't know. I hope they have to work an extra hour and a half. I don't think they do. I think they work till 4 o'clock. So I think it's 8 to 4, and that's it. And they get an hour and a half for lunch. I don't know why. 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 4 hours. 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. What is that? 8 fucking hours. That's an 8-hour day. Minus an hour and a half. So you have 6.5 hour day and they're getting paid for 8. I'll bet you $20 fucking dollars. Well, that's going to quit as soon as I get fucking elected supervisor. That shit's going to quit. I'm going to run. I'm tired of this fucking crap. My property taxes went up again. And I have to download the spreadsheet of where all the money goes, but more than 45% of it, almost 48%, goes to the fucking school district. It's either that or run for the school board, one or the other. I don't know which. I think I'll run for supervisor. I think it's my turn. My wife's cousin did. I don't know if he's still on board or not. But yeah, it's time. It's time to keep rotating people through that fucking place and get some new ideas in there. Other than we need this, we need that, we need this. So let's just tax the fucking property owners more. Property tax is a fucking unconstitutional tax, in my opinion. This country was founded on the principle of private property ownership, liberty, do with your property what you want, small government. Government was only for foreign trade deals and the defense of the nation. That's all the government was for. That's it. And then when it comes to state governments, what is that for? That's where all the regulations or rules should come into place about pollution and about how much manure you can put on a field, how many pigs you can sell, all that stuff should be state level fucking decisions, rules, regulations, and whatever. Nothing should come from the federal government. Nothing. That was back in the day. Now, today, what should the federal government do? Well, those two primary mandates, making treaties, making deals, trade deals with foreign governments, and defense of the nation. And what else should they do? They should do those two things. And defense of the nation includes the borders. So Customs and Border Patrol, yes, will still be there to prevent invasive species coming in the United States. Like, they really do a good job with that. Oh, you can't have this fruit, you can't have that vegetable, but you can sure fucking have pet boa constrictors or pet fucking tarantulas or something that's not native to the United States, German carp, fucking tilapia, fucking any kind of carp, fucking fish. It's amazing. Hey, Mrs. Coin Crew, how are you? You want to listen to me rant for a while? Guess what I got? And we're going to open it today. I got my box today. So we're going to open that. It's the only package I got. So I got to take up time by ranting about shit. So I think it's time for us normal people, us everyday Joes and Janes to get involved in local politics. I think you'll have more impact on a local level than you will have on a state or national level. If you want, work your way up to a state level as a state representative, a representative from your district to the state. I think that's the way to do it. Rather than at the federal level. Okay, what do we need? Yeah, we need customs and border. We need immigration. Need to keep invasive species from coming in the United States. Yes, I understand that. What else do we need? Well, do we need the Department of Justice? All of it. Do we need all of it? No, there are a lot of agencies within the Department of Justice that could be done away with, I think, because they duplicate each other's jobs, and then they don't talk to each other. So it's fucked up. The bureaucracy is so big that things slip through. So I think that needs to be looked at. I think Trump is on the right track there, but the Patriot Act needs to be done away with. There needs to be a movement in Congress to actually do away with laws that are no longer needed, no longer relevant. I think there needs to be a faction of Congress that looks at that and says, we don't need this law anymore. We don't need this law. Let's make a bill to do away with these laws. I think we need to do that. That's one of the biggest things I think this country needs, is to do away with unnecessary rules and regulations and laws. Because it's just something they trap you with. You get arrested for one thing, they add on 10 other things, they plea bargain down to 6 things, you go to fucking jail for 10 years, and yeah, whatever. I understand, man. Marijuana should be legalized. Why is marijuana not legalized federally in all 50 states? Why? Hemp will be the savior of this fucking country. Better wood, better paper, better concrete, better pulp, better ethanol, and use the corn for export, even though corn is one of those things that does the human body no good. If you look at how hogs and cattle eat corn, what do? They digest the center, the little center of the corn, not the whole kernel. The whole kernel, the shell, gets shit out. There's no nutritional value in it whatsoever. Very little nutritional value in all of corn altogether. There's a little, not much. Humans were not evolved to eat grains. Didn't evolve to eat grains. We ate meat. We ate meat. Primarily, that's what you should be eating. Primarily, that should make up probably 80 to 85% of your diet. Some fruits, some vegetables, very, very, very few grains. I would stop cooking with vegetable oil, canola oil, peanut oil, those kind of oils. If you want to cook with oil, use olive oil or coconut oil. Those two. They're healthy. The other ones are not healthy. I don't know, man. Yeah, they say the adult body doesn't need whole milk. Why not? Women are especially prone to osteoporosis in their older ages, and that is from a lack of calcium. You need more calcium in your diet. Yes, you can get that with supplements now, but milk is still a tasty alternative, except for those that are dairy intolerant, peanut intolerant, choke cherry intolerant. I don't know, man. When I was a kid, we made jellies and jams out of everything that was edible for fruits. Everything that was edible. Choke cherries, ground cherries, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, cherries, anything we made jams and jellies out of. And you as a human are not made to eat a lot of processed sugar either. If you want to eat sugar, you want to sweeten things up, use honey, use homemade maple syrup. You know, that stuff comes from nature. If you want to use sugar, use a sugar that is not highly processed. And brown sugar is not a good alternative. Brown sugar is not a good alternative. The human body needs fat. It needs salt. It does need cholesterol. It does. There's bad and there's good. But meat, proteins, that's what eggs, that's what your body needs. That's why we have a fat obesity problem in this country. Even I am a good 30 pounds overweight probably. I'm 235. I should be to 200. That's where I should be. I'm really comfortable at 210. Why am I as fat as I am? Because I had 2 years of surgeries and inactivity and sitting in front of this computer and not working outside. That's why I am overweight. And what did I do when I was sitting here on the computer? Snack. Hi, Lady Bluegrass. How are you, man? Hey, JJ. So, you know, there are, and I'm getting older too, you know. As you get older, you tend to eat less and less. And I do. I only eat one meal a day. Yesterday, I ate one meal. I went to town with a friend and his wife and had a sandwich and onion rings and Diet Pepsi. Then I came home. I sat in front of this computer. What did I do? I ate some tortilla chips. I ate some chocolate. And there was my my downfall right there was the chocolate. And that was it. That's all I had yesterday. I'm not putting on weight, but I'm not losing weight either. So I have a lot of respect for Big T and Mama T for eating less, eating healthy, and losing some weight. Anybody that's struggling that way, yeah, I understand you. I have one daughter that's a real heavy girl. She's going to be 200 some pounds. She's got to weigh as much as I do. 230, 250. I'll bet she's in there. You missed the suitcase game. Oh, no, I didn't see the suitcase game either. And I am going to a concert tonight. After I go to town after this, I am going to town to do my business, and then I'm going to drive an hour over to the venue, stand in line for a couple hours. I'm going to go see Head East tonight. It's their 50th anniversary tour. I'm going to see them one last time because you never know. You know, like Ozzy did his last concert and died, what, a couple weeks later. So, yeah, you never know with these bands from the 70s, 80s, because they're getting old. And the next time you see them might be the last time you see them. I remember when I saw Ronnie James Dio that summer. Awesome, awesome fucking concert. Couldn't have been 1,000 people there. That was it. And my wife and I were in the crowd, and she liked it because she could understand the words. That's her big thing. She has to understand the words. So she could understand the words. Hey, freaking awesome, buddy. How are you? And it was an awesome concert. And what was it? 9-10 months later, he was dead. So you never know. It's like Warren Zevon. I saw him in 82 in Leominster, Massachusetts, when I was stationed at Fort Devens. And I saw him a cappella. Basically, he was by himself on a piano singing his songs. Didn't have the band with him, just himself. And we had a coin made up for him and gave him a 10th group challenge coin. I don't know if it ever got to him. We gave it to the stage manager, and I don't know if he ever saw it, but he might have. And, 10 months later, he's dead. So the next time you see somebody might be the last time you see him. So if it's somebody you know, tell them you love them. It don't hurt you. Might be a little awkward feeling at first, but, go ahead and do it. It ain't going to kill you. Because it might be the last time you get to tell them that. Alrighty then. Should we open a package or should we wait for more people? I don't know. Fuck. I really don't have much to talk about. Other than, if you guys don't know Nick Freitas, you call him Freitas. Nick, F-R-I-E-T-A-S, Freitas, on YouTube. Subscribe to him. He's a fellow Green Beret, but he's also a Congress critter from Virginia. And if you listen to him once, you'll listen to him again. I guarantee it. I don't know if I have any of his streams on any of my tabs on my homepage. I might have, I don't know, but there's some good stuff there. Go through them, see something you like, click on it, watch it. Might be something you like. I don't post a lot of stuff on my main page as a post, but all of my tabs I do. I save a lot of stuff there. And if you like music, go to that music tab, because if you like 70s, 80s music, there's a lot of it there. Anyway, let's open this thing up. All three of you is here. You're starting to sound like a hidden numismatist. He's only 5 years old, All right, let's open this thing up. Ah, God. Sometimes I kill myself. Yes, this is my concert going attire. Camouflage short pants, black shirt, hair. My hair is done up, but when I get to the concert, I take the hair tie out and we start throwing hair around. So we start throwing hair around, and I warn the people next to me too all the time. We are going to start throwing hair, so maybe you want to look out. It might hit you in the face. All right, let's get a Angry Warrior tackle box package opening tool. Oh damn. I got to send Angry some money today. I bought a couple more knives. His friend makes some nice little handy little knives. They really do. They're handy little knives. Let's see. And go right there. Okay. And because these are glued, what I do is I just pry up on them a little bit and then go ahead and go like that. And then I can probably pry it up with my fingers after that. Yep. There we go. Just like that. Look at that. Wonderful how that works. All right. Let's put the tools away. Oh, angry. I got to get, some more trash bags. Trash bags for me. And they go in my trash can down here because I use those for trash. Trash. Not groceries, trash. Not merchandise, trash. All right. Another box. That goes in the trash too because I don't do boxes. All right, what do we got here? We didn't buy much this last time around. Not like the previous box. That previous box had some gold in it. A couple pieces. And that was kind of nice. But this, I think, is all silver this time around. I don't think I got any gold. Maybe I did, but I don't think I did. I got silver, pretty much. What is this? Oh, that's my Canadian dollar. How about another Canadian dollar? Yes. This is Charlottetown. You can see it probably better that way. Charlottetown, Quebec dollar. 1864, 1964. Yep. And there's that beautiful looking person on the front. Oh, there we go. That's better. Hey, it's another Canadian dollar. Another one to go in my book. I collect a lot of the 67s because they're all commemoratives. And like say this is 80%, and it's an ounce, but it's 80%. At $26, yeah, that's probably about right. So, but I got a tube to fill, and I have to get some more ASEs in there. I need another one or two type 2s to fill that tube. This tube might be full now with these. I don't know. I have to take them out there and look today. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are what year? 2022s or 2023s? Where's my old eyes? Somebody stole my old eyes. No, there they are. I was looking at dimes last night, Canadian dimes. 2021. 2021 ASEs. I got 5 here, and that might be enough to actually fill that tube and start another one. I'm trying to get all my ASEs back that I sold when my daughter needed a down payment for her house. So I'm trying to get all of them back. I know it's going to be difficult. That was 351 ASEs I sold to get a down payment on her house. So 36, 8. I'm giving $8 more than I sold them for. So, yeah. I'm just hoping that that investment is going to pay off sometime. All right, we'll go like that. Wait a minute. I'll just turn that around because you know what I'm going to do here, don't you? I'm going to take and put that in a different flip. And I'll put that up there with the rest of the Coin Zone flips. Because when I feel like I've got enough, I send them back. I got enough of these regular flips. I don't need the Coin Zone flips. So I just send them back to them. There you go. Regular flip. We'll lay it down there like that. And we'll lay those eagles over there like that. And I don't need another bag. I got bags up the butt. I did get some gold. Look at this. I got a 10th ounce ASE, I believe. Yes, I did. Well, I got to try and get everything else so it won't focus on it. Oh shit, that light. The light, the light, the light, the light. There we go. Well, let's see. Yeah, we'll hold her up like that, I guess. Well, let's see what year this is. She also goes in a tube. Let's see what year this is. I don't know for sure. Doesn't really matter because she's going in a tube with the rest of them, but oh God. These things are so small, I can't tell. I mean, it's a 10th ounce, but God, you'd think I'd be able to see the date on this thing. All right, let's go real small here. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. It's a 2000. That looks like a small O, too. Nope. That's just the way it's holding a magnifying glass. No, it's a 2000. There you go. You sure won't be able to see it, but it's there. I think maybe you can see it. There. Now you can see it. 2000. Bring it up closer. Yep. There you go. Between the lights. Anyway, there we go. I like ASEs too, but I like Peace Dollars better. Although ASEs are what? 3.9's fine? Yeah, 3.9's fine. I thought they were like all the other constitutional money. I thought they were 90%, but they're not. They're 3.9's fine. So, but then you got this 80%er. So I got to take that out too. Yeah, 80%er, and that one's. And see, you put one in a coin crew flip, and then the rest of them are in regular flips. I don't understand that. You know what? I might just send regular flips back to you guys too. Because you guys can use them more than I can. I don't use them. I don't use flips. Everything is in tubes, 2x2s. There's an extra Canadian dime that's going to go on the auction block sometime. All the silver stuff, all the 80%, 50% silver stuff, I keep. But anything that's not silver, nickel, steel, any Canadian collectors out there, those go away. I have extra 925 I keep, and I have some extra years of large pennies. Those are going to get sold also, because I know there are some people that really want them. So, I was talking to somebody that wanted them, and I told him I had extra of this, that, and the other, and he never made an offer. So maybe I should just tell him what I want. All right. Anyway, that's what I got. I'm gonna probably head into town. What time is it? 12:11. Nope, I'm not gonna head into town yet because they won't be there until 1 or 1:30. So, but we're at a half an hour for this. So, all right, let's go back up here. Let's go back up here. You can see my ugly face. But that's all we got. I mean, we didn't get much today. Maybe tomorrow we'll get some packages. I know I got one coming from Meg. I know I got one coming from Darlene. I know I got one coming from Oregon. I know I got one coming from Durbin, Joe Durbin. And if you guys would like to say a prayer for Diane Durbin's mom, she's not good, man. My wife's mother is also not good. My mother-in-law, she is battling bone marrow cancer. with the platelet transfusions, whole blood transfusion, chemotherapy, and the whole bit. And my wife is, and my sister-in-law, Mary Jo, are going over and taking her to appointments and bathing her. And my wife cooks and takes stuff over for them because Alan, my father-in-law, would be her stepdad. Like a lot of old guys, old farmers, the wife always cooked. Stay-at-home women until the kids were gone. Then she went and worked in a nursing home as an aide, just like my wife. And he always expected dinner to be on the table and cooked for him because he was out in the field. And then when he quit farming, he should have learned how to cook, but instead he started farming with his nephew. Be his grandson. He started farming with, and then his grandson's son. So be a great grandson, I guess. Oh, sorry to hear that, JJ. Lymph node cancer. Yeah, that. So a lymphoma. That's what my dad died of when he was 33. My dad died of lymphoma. And at the time, they didn't know how to treat it or anything. I have his VA medical records, and I can tell you they did some awful, horrendous shit to try and treat it. But lymphoma is pretty well curable nowadays. Pretty well. I think, what is there, a 90-some% chance of remission for lymphoma. So hopefully your dog gets some treatment. I don't know what your financial situation is like, but I do know that pet procedures are not cheap. As a matter of fact, my neighbor up here, I went to school with Randy, his wife Mary. I went to school with her also. I think she's a year younger than I am. Randy's the same age as I am. Randy, when he got out of high school, started doing what his older brother did. And he started raising elk. And because the vet bills were so high, Mary went to vet school after high school. They had been a thing ever since sophomore year in high school, and they got married. But vet bills for just taking care of the elk, just regular visits to come out and check the herd, were so horrendous that she went to vet school. She is my vet now, up the road 2-3 miles, and they still have elk, and that's where I get my elk meat from a lot, other than what I shoot, but. She's a 12-year-old. A decent dog of that size should live to about 16. Smaller dogs, maybe to 20, a little more, but $500 just to run the test. Yeah. Why? Well, I'll tell you why, if you want to hear why, but do you have pet health insurance? Because if you had pet health insurance, it wouldn't cost you as much, but it would sure cost your insurance company probably 2 or 3 times that much. Without any insurance to bill, the vet has to put all of the cost onto you. And it costs so much to go to vet school. You know, the doctor that you get at the hospital is the doctor that flunked out of vet school. Vet school is so much harder than regular MD that you can't believe it. Why? Because MDs only have to learn one system. Vets have to learn multiple systems on multiple species. Doctors, MDs only have to learn one species. That's it. And all the associated diseases and things that they can contract. Well, there's something to be said for some lab testing back in the day. I don't really think it needs to be as prevalent as it was way back when. Because way back when they didn't have computer models, they didn't have AI. Now we do. So a lot of live animal testing could be done by computer models and AI. So animal testing really is not real indicative of what medications or cosmetics or whatever can do to a human system, because testing an eye ointment on or a cosmetic on a rabbit's eyes is a lot different than testing on human eyes. I'm sorry to say that a lot of animal testing could be done away with, and a lot of that shit that goes on the market could be tested on humans. All they have to do is ask for volunteers. There will be volunteers. You pay them, and they will go through the procedure. And if they get sick, if they die, if they lose an eye, if they lose a whatever, they signed a waiver. They can't sue because they volunteered. And it could be done that way. It should be done that way. Not because I have empathy for the animals. I do have empathy for the animals, but that's not the reason why. The reason why is because their system is so much different than a human system, other than primates. Other than primates. You're trying to tell me a rabbit's eyes are the same as a human's eyes? No freaking way. A rabbit's eyes are more sensitive. They see more light. They see color differently. They see a broader spectrum this way. But are they the same as a human eye? No. They're more sensitive, so they say, well, if it affects a rabbit eye, it'll definitely affect a human eye. Oh, bullshit. You know, that's all bullshit. An emergency hysterectomy. Really? Was she fixed at that time? Had she been fixed at that time? Because that might have been a botched job years ago. I don't know when she got it, but if she was fixed, that might have been a botched job. It might have taken this long to show up. I don't know why she had an emergency hysterectomy. She wasn't fixed. Okay. Emergency hysterectomy. Why would she have an emergency? Wouldn't be a tubal ligation. It wouldn't have anything to do with a false pregnancy, I wouldn't think. I don't know. I don't know, man. Emergency hysterectomy. I wonder why. Oh, well. You know, I was watching a video this morning about when you lose an animal, it's primarily like losing a child, a young child, because it affects a certain part in your brain. It has to do with unconditional love. A young child has no conditions on the love they give, and neither does an animal. And your brain realizes that. And so when you lose them, it's exactly the same thing. And she has Lyme disease. Well, Lyme disease can be treated. Yeah, Lady Bluegrass. Smaller dogs live longer than older dogs. Or bigger dogs. That's older dogs. Smaller dogs live longer than bigger dogs. Just a fact. I don't know why that is, but it is just a fact. My terriers on average would live, if they don't get run over by a mailman, and he was 12, he probably would have lived 18. Probably would have lived to 18. He was just a step slower than he was, and that's why the mailman got him. And he liked to chase the mail truck. He liked to chase certain vehicles on the road. My neighbor's four-wheeler, when they come over, my brother's truck, the mail truck, the stuff he was familiar with, he would go out and chase them. Nah, that's not, I don't count that as a vet visit because that's just an emergency surgery because of something else, not because of his own health. How is his eye? Can he see out of that eye now? They do a good job putting it back in, and maybe it wasn't unattached, I'm hoping. Well, if it was unattached from the optic nerve, he'd be blind in that eye. So how does he have muscle control? Good? You can test him. You can always test him. Put an eye patch on the good eye and test him. See if he bumps into things or if he can come get his food and water or whatever. You can always test him. Do the finger trick over here, over there. If he turns his head, then he can probably see. If he's healthy, no big deal. I've seen dogs with 3 legs, front leg gone, back leg gone, and they're fine, healthy. They just got a leg removed, that's all. Yeah, that's good, man. You got a good vet then. They did a good job. I've got scars that you can sure tell a doctor's been there. And maybe they have to be that way. I don't know. But I've had surgeries where on the same joint where they've gone in the same scar over and over and over again. They don't want to create a new scar, so they go in the old one, and all that happens is the scar tissue gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But that's vets. I don't know, man. It costs a lot to go to vet school because you have to go to medical school, then you go to vet school. A vet takes more education than a regular MD. So I'm not talking about specialist surgeons or any of that stuff, brain surgeons, heart surgeons, anybody who specializes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just your general MD. A vet has twice as much education as they do. So they're going to incur twice the billing, twice the bills, twice the loans, twice the money that they owe. It's like getting your master's degree and say, well, you know what? I should really specialize this. I want to go get my PhD. Oh, I don't, JJ. Nope, don't even worry about Lyme. I probably have Lyme disease, and that's why my joints are as bad as they are. Not just from jumping out of airplanes and carrying heavy rucksacks, but I'm going to bet you I should go get tested for Lyme. I don't know. I haven't had a tick attached to me for years and years. And I think the reason is I feel them generally, but I am aware of ticks. So when I'm out in the woods, I come back, take a shower, and I check everything very well. And I do use a tick repellent, especially around your shoes, ankles, and all the way up to your knees, because that's generally where ticks come from is the grass up. And if you're setting turkey hunting, may want to spray the rest of you down too. As far as shroom hunting goes, nah, not really. I went out and found 3 dozen morels this spring. Got a few oysters and some pheasant backs, young pheasant backs. Haven't found any good turkey tails yet. Yeah, a few hen in the woods, but not that many. A few, not that many. I generally like to wait for fall because I like sheep's head mushrooms, the ones that grow at, bottom of oak trees, live oak trees. They grow not on the tree, but at the bottom of the tree in the soil. I love those mushrooms. Love, love, love. Those are about the best mushrooms other than chanterelles, in my opinion, for taste. Morels are good. First couple times in the year, they're like asparagus, first couple times in the spring, delicious. Same thing as sweet corn. First couple times sweet corn comes out, delicious. After that, they get kind of boring. I cook with a lot of chanterelles, or not chanterelles, oysters, because the last few years we've had tons and tons of oysters. So I get more oysters and people bring me oysters. I dehydrate them, clean them, dehydrate them, and then vacuum seal them and throw them in a freezer. Don't have to throw them in the freezer, but I got freezer room, so I throw them in the freezer. And I cook a lot with oyster mushrooms. I have a few dehydrated sheep's head, a few dehydrated, and I have some very few dehydrated chanterelles yet. But that's about it. I really do. Oh, Daryl, hold up a second, buddy. Let me turn you blue. Hold up. You are now blue. So you can go to anybody else's channel and subscribe. And no, I haven't heard from Kiwi for a couple of weeks, so I got to get on his. He was on the other night, but good God, it was 2:30 in the morning, and I just went to bed. I don't know. We've had sweet corn already, so. And Steve's sweet corn stand in Osage is up and operational, so. I don't know about you guys out there, because you're out in you Nebraska or South Dakota. I forget which. Anyway, yeah, you might have bad corn out there this year. The field corn might be bad here this year because it takes longer to mature. And we've had so much rain lately that I don't know if they're going to replant some of this stuff or not. But we've had a lot of standing water. The road washed out. Actually, this last rain where we had like 4.5, 5 inches real quick, it washed out the road north of me. Because the field to the east of me, just across the gravel road, is sloped like this and down. So there's like a valley there. And that's where they run all the tiles to, of course. And there's a little creek that goes down to the river. That's right on the north side of my property. But when they get that much rain, the tiles can't handle it. And so all it does, it runs off. Even if there's cover crop out there, like there's corn out there this year, and it just runs down across the road. Does it in two places, to the south of me and to the north of me, both of them. And they're both on our property right here. And that field to the east just washes everything out. There's the road to the south of me, there's a road. There's the culverts. There's the culverts right here. And then there's a waterway. And that's a grass waterway that's about 50 yards wide, 60 yards wide, goes right to the trees at the edge of the woods, and then in a kind of ravine down to the river. But that's mostly where the south water goes, and that washed out pretty good down there. That washed out a good 50 yards wide and 4 to 6 inches deep. It just took all that gravel off the road, everything. Made a nice ditch there you had to drive across. And up to the north, it did the same thing, just not quite as wide, not quite as deep. You could get out to the north. You couldn't get out to the south. You get out to the north, you go real slow and then down over the hump, drive, and then back up over the hump. But they had that filled in pretty much, North Dakota. There you go. They had that filled in pretty much within a day. They don't have it graded. but they've got it filled in. So, well, why are the lakes around major metropolitan areas drying up? Well, you need fresh water supply for the people in the cities, and they're surrounded by agriculture, right? So you need water for crops, and then you got idiots who fucking water their lawn. And pardon me if I have offended anybody who waters their frickin' lawn. You're an idiot. Grass goes dormant when it doesn't get enough water. Yes, it turns brown. It doesn't die. It's very, very extreme that grass will die. Just look at it this way. It's a blessing you don't have to mow. I have to mow constantly with as much rain as we got around here. Hi, Katita. How are you? No, when cities say, "Oh, we got a sprinkling ban. You can't water your grass between this hour and that hour," and don't you know that you don't water during the day? You water either early morning or late afternoon. So the water it'll take a longer time to evaporate and it does more good. But when cities have to put a watering ban on for your lawn, um, you should have had not been watering your lawn to start with. You should know that. You should know that. I don't know. Yes, lawns are the biggest waste of time ever. If people would just fucking let's say plant a vegetable garden in their front yard or backyard or wherever, plant a vegetable garden, and say it's a major metropolitan area and you only have a 10 by 10 front yard, make a garden. You're not going to eat all the produce that garden produces. So if somebody comes by and picks a little bit, you're helping them. What the hell? I don't have a problem with that. No, pretty lawn. If I could put an electric fence around my yard, something I didn't have to do a lot of work with, and put sheep on my lawn, I would do that because the sheep will eat it. They'll fertilize it. All I got to do is look after the sheep. Look out the window. Yeah, sheep are still here. They're not on the road. Okay. But I can't do that because I'm right next to the road and sheep get on the road. Somebody hits one. You're liable, insurance, all that shit. So I don't do that. Yeah. I got 1, 2, 3 apple trees out here. Peach tree. I don't have any pears, but I think I'm going to plant some pears out in the pasture. See, we have pasture out here that's about an acre big, and we don't have any animals anymore. I used to have goats, used to have a couple cattle, sheep. Now we don't have any of that stuff anymore. So the fence is all down. So I think we're going to plant that all the trees. So I think what I'm going to do is plant some more fruit trees out there. I think that'll be a good thing. I think we'll plant cherry, we'll plant peach, pears, maybe. I don't know if pears will grow up here. Pears will grow. Yeah, they will. Peaches are another thing, though. I don't know if the winters are too much for them or not, but we'll plant them and see. We'll plant some cherry trees for sure. I don't know about crab apples, though. I might plant a crab apple. Still make crab apple jelly. So, yeah, I think we already have a garden and we got enough garden to feed us and the kids. So and the kids are all over the place. So, well, some grass is native to North America. Not a lot of lawn grass, but prairie grass, yes. Yes, crab apple trees are pretty. We had one big one on my stepdad's place until it it was so old that it died, and we had to take it down. But he planted there's like 3 acres out there of fruit trees, nothing but fruit trees. And then he planted on the inside of the grove, because we used to have a lot of choke cherries, real thick wild grove choke cherries there. And he took down most of the choke cherries, left some of them up, but planted more pine trees to make a thicker grove for snow as a snow fence. And so he did that. Yes, choke cherries are a wonderful tree, just like my hazelnuts out here. Maybe I'll plant a hickory in there too. I've got a walnut tree. We had 2 of them here. I took one down because that's where our garden was, and then we moved it, and I didn't have to take it down, but that's where our asparagus was at, and the black walnut was killing it off. So I cut that tree down. The one down by my shed, I'm going to leave that one up. Yeah, the kind of grass in lawns is not native. Like, God, Kentucky bluegrass and I don't know, some other kind of grass are just not native to this country. And, you know, it's one of those things that shouldn't have been let in. It's like carp, tilapia, boa constrictors, anacondas, all those reptile farms, and now we got crocodiles where we never used to have crocodiles. Alligators are native, not crocodiles. Yeah, there's a lot of shit that's invasive species that have come to the United States. A lot of that is from just shipping containers and ships that get through customs. You know, I don't know what to do about it. I don't think we can do anything about it. I think we're gonna have to learn to live with it and manage it the best we can, is what I think. But there are some species that are in this country that aren't native to this species that are pretty beneficial. How about the Chinese ringneck pheasant? How about the red fox? The red fox is not native to this country. It was imported for fox hunts. The gray fox, the swift fox, the Arctic fox, the kit fox are native to this country, but not the red fox. But it developed a niche, and now the coyotes are killing them off. So there's nature going about and managing itself. How about Hungarian partridge? Not native to this country, but a wonderful bird, a real hardy bird. They can survive in a landscape that pheasants and grouse and quail cannot. Trying to think of other native or non-native species that are beneficial. And I know there are. And I would know more animals and game birds than I would know songbirds, than I would know insects, than I would know reptiles. But oh yeah, tobacco is not native to this country either. What kind of fruit is not native to this country? Macintosh apples were here in Canada, I know, because they have a coin celebrating the Macintosh apple and its discovery. Trying to think of fruits and vegetables that may be not native to this country that are beneficial. Chinese plastic people. Got 4 turkeys. What kind of turkeys did you get? I want to put my feet up. Put my feet up. All right, and then we'll just adjust the camera a little bit here so I can sit back and look at you. Shoot. I'm just trying to think of. Oh, Golden pheasants, that's another import. Peacocks, that's another import. If you got eastern wild pheasants or Merriam's or what are the ones in Florida? They're just native to Florida. They're not native anywhere else here in the States. Shit, can't think of them now. And then there's a species of turkey that's native to Mexico and the very, very, very border regions, southern United States. Those turkeys, yeah, I would raise them all day, especially eastern wilds, eastern turkeys, yeah. If they're tamed down, that'd be good. Ducks and geese. There are Chinese geese. The big honkers, the long neck honkers with bumps on their head or bumps on their beak right up here. I don't know if that's the brownish ones or the white ones. Not sure. $15 each. That's not bad for turkeys. How big are they? Are they little ones yet? Bronze breast. Yeah, but see those are I think that's interbred. I know what you meant, JJ. They're babies, just feathering out good. Holy shit. Yeah, at 15, they should have probably been 5 to 7. Probably half price would have been better, but oh man. Well, if you feed them, they grow and they get to 20, 22, 25 pounds. You did all right then. Coneheads. Coneheads? No, not coneheads. Long neck geese that have that bump right there at the base of their bill, right by their eyes, right there. At that bump that's about as big as my thumb. Pet rooster, Fred. No, I don't think I've seen your pet rooster, but hold up a second. Hold up a second. Let's see if that. Yeah, that drops me out. Okay, that goes to you. All right. Let me see. All right. There's one with your pet rooster, Fred, and I'm just gonna stop that for a second, and I'm gonna come back. All right, I got you up over there. It says Fred and Luna. Okay, I'll watch it. Is it short? We'll watch those and see. Royal King had baby turks at 8 to 10. Yeah, eight sounds more reasonable than 15. Roosters, ducks, geese, lambs. Yeah, they all like to bite. Everything likes to bite when they're babies. They got to be taught not to bite. How does mom teach them not to bite? Bites them back. All right, so they got to be disciplined. They got to be taught not to bite. How do you teach a goose not to bite? Grab it by the neck and you pinch its bill shut, and then you let go of its neck. It will learn not to bite. It will learn. Yeah, chickens peck when you go to get eggs. I get pecked every day when I go check my brother's hens and get eggs out from underneath. But you know what I do with them? I don't just take their eggs out and leave them. I pet them. I pet them on the head. I give them little scratches. They don't know what to do. You want to know why? Because nobody's ever done that to them before. So it's kind of like giving them a reward for taking their egg. After a while, they'll quit pecking you. It's easy. Royal King is like, I think, our Tractor Supply company out here. You can go in, they got tanks with heat lamps and wood shavings and feeders in there, and they got, in the spring of the year, ducks and geese and turkeys and quail. And my brother bought 20 quail, I think. and he's got him in a pen outside, roof over him, all that good stuff. It's covered, but eventually he's just going to open the door and let him go out into the grove and woods and field and leave the door open. But he's going to leave one or two of them in the pen. And then at night, he'll open the door and those other ones will call the other ones back in. So he can lock them up at night and leave them out in the morning. All you have to do is leave a couple of them in the pen, shut the door, and then they'll call the rest of them back at night. And then he'll go out, open the door, and let the other ones in. Okay, Marville, here 2 years ago. Our Tractor Supply Company moved out of town, and they moved between the cities. There's a stretch between the cities about, 10, 11 miles. Mason City here, Clear Lake here. Then there's that stretch of road. Well, just about halfway in between, there's an airport there, Mason City Airport. So they moved out between Mason City and the airport, and they're right on the south side of the road. They built a brand new facility out there, and I don't know what's going to move into their old facility. I know there's somebody looking and it's in a good location. It's not bad. They just didn't have enough room. They had enough parking, but they didn't have enough outdoor space to store all the stuff that stores outside, like gates and the fencing and posts and all of that good stuff. They didn't have enough room for that. So they needed more room for that. So there's no place to expand there. There's a road on one side of them and there's a business on the other side of them. And they were in that narrow little bit. Store was back here, storage space up here, parking right here. So anyway, that's what they did. What time is it? 12:49. About time for me to head out and go to town. We're at an hour and 7 minutes anyway, and we kind of discussed some stuff. I would love to sit here and talk some more, but I do this kind of off the cuff. I listen to stuff during the day, and if it's on my mind, but I should actually write stuff down just so I have some bullet points, talking points, bullet points. Other than that, we just do what we do. I will have fun at the concert. I'm going to be in line probably an hour and a half early, 2 hours maybe, hour and a half, depends. I'll drive by and see who's there at 2 o'clock or 2 hours before the door is open. If there's people already in line, I'll go out, park, come back, and get in line. Otherwise, I'll just wait and do a little streaming in my truck. But you can tell Joe Durbin when you guys go to his auction this afternoon that I will not be there. I will be having fun and actually thinking, what am I missing? No, I'll go on my phone actually, and I will try to be there for a little while. But I'm taking my earbuds with me and my phone, so I think my phone is charged. Anyway, we'll see you there. But you can tell Joe, if I'm not there, that I am at a concert and having fun. All right. We'll see you guys later. Take it easy. Boom. Out and about.